Welcome back to Vault Camping. Today we are going to talk about something that most people completely overlook, and that is the fact that your own car might be spying on you every single day without you even knowing it. We live in a time where privacy is getting harder and harder to hold on to. Every app on your phone, every website you visit, and now even your vehicle is collecting data about you. Most people think of their car as just a machine that gets them from point A to point B, but the reality is very different. If your car was manufactured in the last 10 years or so, there is a very strong chance that it has a built-in system that is quietly broadcasting your location, your speed, your driving habits, and even your braking patterns to remote servers owned by the manufacturer or third-party data companies. You did not agree to this in any obvious way. It was buried in the fine print when you bought the vehicle, and most dealerships never even bring it up. The system responsible for all of this is called the Telematics Control Unit, and it is the brain behind everything your car transmits wirelessly to the outside world. The Telematics Control Unit, which is commonly referred to as the TCU, is a small but very powerful component that sits inside your vehicle and acts like a constantly active cell phone. It uses GPs to track your exact location at all times, and it sends that data along with a huge amount of other information back to the manufacturer's servers on a continuous basis. Car companies market the features powered by this unit as conveniences. They talk about remote start, stolen vehicle tracking, automatic emergency response, over-the-air software updates, and real-time traffic data. These all sound like useful things, and some of them genuinely are. But the flip side is that enabling these features means your vehicle is essentially a rolling surveillance device. It knows where you are, where you have been, how fast you are going, and how you drive. That data can be sold to insurance companies, shared with law enforcement, accessed by hackers if the server security is weak, or simply retained in a corporate database indefinitely. For people who value their privacy, especially those who spend time off the grid, go on camping trips to remote areas, or simply do not want their daily movements logged by a corporation, this is a serious problem. The good news is that there is a simple, completely reversible, no tools required solution that any person can do in their driveway in under 10 minutes. The solution is removing a single fuse from your vehicle's fuse box, and this is much easier than it sounds. Your car has at least one fuse panel, and most vehicles have two. The first place to check is under the hood, usually near the battery on one side of the engine bay. There will be a black plastic box with a lid that pops or pulls off. The second location is typically inside the cabin of your car, on the lower left side of the dashboard near the driver's left knee. Sometimes it is hidden behind a small removable panel. Once you have found one or both of these fuse boxes, you need to open the lid and look at the inside of the cover, because printed right there you will find a diagram or a legend that lists every single fuse in the box along with its function. This diagram is the key to everything, and it tells you exactly which fuse controls which system in your vehicle. You are not guessing here. The information you need is right there in the car. What you are looking for in that diagram is a label that corresponds to the telematics or communications system. Different manufacturers use different names for the same thing, which can cause some confusion. So here are the most common labels you might encounter. Some vehicles will list it simply as telematics. Others will say GPS, which is straightforward enough. Some will use the label SOS, or emergency call, because the telematics unit is what powers the emergency call button in many vehicles. You might also see DCM, which stands for Data Communication Module, or TCU, which, as we already discussed, stands for Telematics Control Unit. Another label to look out for is shark fin, which refers to the small antenna mounted on the roof of most modern vehicles that looks like a shark fin. That antenna is what the telematics unit uses to send and receive signals, and its fuse is often labeled with that nickname in the fuse diagram. Regardless of what it is called in your specific vehicle, once you identify the correct fuse, you have found exactly what you need. Now for the actual removal, which takes about 5 seconds once you know what you are doing. Inside the fuse box, either taped to the lid or stored in a small slot built into the box itself, you will almost always find a small plastic tool called a fuse puller. It looks like a tiny pair of tweezers or pliers, and it is included by the manufacturer specifically for this purpose. Grip the fuse you identified with that tool, squeeze gently to get a firm hold, and pull straight up. The fuse will pop out cleanly. Take a look at it once it is out. A standard car fuse is a small rectangular or blade-shaped plastic piece with two metal prongs at the bottom and a thin wire or filament visible through the transparent plastic body. When a fuse is working normally, that filament is intact and unbroken. Set the fuse somewhere safe, like the glove compartment or a small bag, because you will want to keep it for when you decide to reinstall it. The moment that fuse leaves its slot, the telematics unit loses power completely. It cannot track you, it cannot broadcast your location, and it cannot send any data to any server. You have effectively gone dark, and you did it with zero technical knowledge and zero special equipment. It is very important to understand what this change does and does not affect. Because some people hear the word fuse and start imagining that they might break something critical in their vehicle. That is not the case at all. Removing the telematics fuse has absolutely no effect on the mechanical operation of your car. Your engine will start and run exactly as it always has. Your brakes will work. Your airbags will deploy if needed. Your ABS system, your power steering, your transmission, your headlights, your fuel injection, your climate control, and every other core system in your vehicle will function completely normally. The fuse you are removing only cuts power to the communication module, which is a completely separate and non-essential system. What you will lose is access to the manufacturer's connected car app on your smartphone. You will not be able to remote start the vehicle through an app, and you will not receive over-the-air software updates via the cellular connection. Most importantly, you will lose the automatic emergency response feature, which is the system that calls for help automatically if your vehicle is in a serious crash. This is a real trade-off, and you should think about it honestly. If you do a lot of highway driving alone or travel through remote areas, that emergency call feature could matter. If you are pulling the fuse specifically for a camping trip or a period when you want extra privacy, just be aware that you are making that trade while the fuse is out. The reversibility of this whole process is one of the best parts about it. This is not a modification in any permanent sense of the word. You are not cutting a wire, you are not reprogramming anything, you are not voiding your warranty in any way that would be detectable or verifiable. You are simply removing and reinserting a small component that was designed from the factory to be removed and reinserted whenever needed. When you want to restore full connectivity to your vehicle, you take the fuse out of wherever you stored it, line it up with the correct slot in the fuse box. Press it straight down until it clicks into place, and that is it. The telematics unit powers back up, reconnects to the network, and everything works exactly as it did before. You can do this as many times as you want, switching between tracked and untracked modes depending on your situation. Going on a camping trip where you want to keep your route private? Pull the fuse before you leave. Coming back to the city and want the emergency call feature available again? Push it back in when you return. It takes less time than checking your tire pressure. For people in the prepping and survival community, this kind of knowledge fits into a much bigger picture. Situational awareness and information control are core parts of being prepared. If there ever comes a time when you need to move without leaving a digital trail, knowing how to quickly disable your vehicle's tracking system without drawing attention or requiring any special gear is a genuinely useful skill. It costs nothing, requires no technical background, and leaves no trace. It is exactly the kind of practical, hardware-based solution that we focus on here at Vault Camping, because the best solutions are usually the simplest ones. No app, no hack, no expensive equipment. Just understanding how your own vehicle works and using that knowledge to take back a little bit of control over your own privacy. If you found this useful, give the video a like and make sure you are subscribed to Vault Camping so you do not miss content like this. We cover practical skills for real situations, and there is a lot more coming. Stay aware, stay prepared, and stay off the radar.